Hey everyone, this is Evan from Morethanmeetstheseguys, coming to bring you a little message that I think needs to be expressed, you know, succinctly here. So I'll do my best. We are a podcast that has started from the ground up, and I personally am someone who has loved Transformers all his life. They're important to me. The mythos, the toys, the whole legacy that's brought to my life. My friends on here all have their love as well. Boo, Andres, even Ed. I think he's coming around. But if you could do us a huge favor, and if you're watching on YouTube, give us a thumbs up. Subscribe. That's huge. And share the link with friends. And if you're listening on podcast, give us a good review if you wouldn't mind. And send us a message, whatever. Come to the Discord, whatever you want to do. We really enjoy doing this, but also we've come to really enjoy engagement with fellow fans and fellow people who just find the podcast. So, and in closing, I want to say thanks for being here and, help us spread the message. All right. Thanks. Bye. Hey, everyone. Welcome to More Than Meets These Guys. This podcast is a journey through Transformers from the beginning of the animated series with two old friends coming at it from different perspectives. Together, we will go episode by episode with the occasional extra to look at how the show holds up or if it's a trap in nostalgia. We'll be looking at all things involved in the episode, whether there were real-world factors that crept into the writing or if the episode is typical afternoon cartoon fodder. I'm Evan. I'm a lifelong fan. I'm familiar with all aspects of the franchise. Ed here is familiar with Transformers, but it was really nothing he got into when he was younger. So thanks for joining us, everyone. Ed, how you doing, dude?
The returning Ed.
Again, you take these
returning
breaks.
Real world factors crept into this episode real bad and have been for the past few weeks. And guys, I'm very sorry. I don't want to get into gross details, but let's just say that I'm a 40-something dude that still has his wisdom teeth. And that's no fun, along with a myriad of other bizarre health things recently. But yeah. So sorry about that. Your Transformers dads are cool, and we're still here. We're not going anywhere. We're gonna do this. We're doing all 7,000 episodes of this season.
Longest season.
with an occasional detour. Thanks so much, Boo, for stepping in and doing those apps on the comics. Those were very fun and very enlightening. Those comics are nuts.
They really are. And the thing is, you think there's 1,000 episodes in this season? Dude, the UK comics, and they go a completely different way than the American comics. And the American comics, I think it was like issue 80 was the original ending of the first run for Marvel, and UK just goes on and on and on. But it was kind of neat seeing how they're still in the same path right now. But after I think issue 8 of the UK or issue 4 of the US stuff, it forks off. So it'd be kind of interesting to see how that goes. And there's so many of them, but that'll all be new for me here. But dude, and like we were sitting there reading like Machine Man.
Oh,
Machine Man books are like they're like half the books are they're terrible.
Does Transformers have a big following in the UK, or did it have a big
huge
following in the UK? Was it I mean, is it like a unique fandom over there or something, or what? How does that work?
It well, I guess to a point it would have been, and then they started reprinting the UK comics we can get over here. They had some UK exclusive figures that came out over there, and it was.
Oh, no kidding.
And, they came out. They redid a lot of those UK exclusives as a line called Machine Wars. That came out during after like kind of concurrent with Beast Wars, and they recolored a lot of stuff. I've got a few of them. They were really fond of using gold plastic, which if you talk to any Transformers fan, gold plastic syndrome, that stuff crumbles after years.
I was about to say, does it wear off like silver plastic does? Where
no, it's not even like a covering. It's actually they use gold flecks. They use like a composite gold fleck within the actual plastic.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the chemical makeup of the gold plastic, it just crumbles.
Like, the plastic itself crumbles?
The plastic itself actually falls apart. And I've got some actually, and they did that with some Beast Wars stuff that had like some figures had that gold plastic. There was a notorious Japanese Beast Wars figure. His name was Randy, but it was like a warthog, but he was all composed of gold plastic.
His name is what now?
Randy.
Okay,
Randy,
that's what I thought you said.
Randy, yes.
Randall. All right.
Like my brother Randy, yes, he's a Beast Wars warthog. But they had like some of the stuff. Like I think some of the last bit that came out was the Transformers 2007 movie. They had some like kind of preview figures. Starscream was all done in that gold plastic also. And he was like one of the last ones they released gold plastic on.
Yeah.
Anytime you see gold plastic now, it's usually painted on, or it's like a yellowish, brownish kind of color. So they don't actually use that same chemical makeup. So,
See,
anyways,
I thought you meant that weird like a lot of 80s toys use this weird chrome over but it was usually over like white or yellowish plastic, which is probably the cheapest plastic there is, but it would always like wear off and it would like turn black for like a little bit, and then eventually then you would have just the bare like cheap plastic at the bottom,
yeah,
like
the
a lot of like
Dinobots.
from what I remember, a lot of Transformers bits would do that, like the little guns that went on the back of like Rumble and Ravage, from what
Yeah,
I recall, were real infamous for that.
yeah. There's a lot of their vacuum sealed chrome is what they do. They I can't exactly remember the process, but it was like they basically electrify through in a chamber, and it locks the chrome onto the plastic. But
Okay.
the Dinobots are really bad about having the gold plastic. Most of the time it's just chrome. So I mean, like
Oh,
I've
okay.
got figures that have like chrome worn off in edges just
Oh
because
yeah.
just wear and tear. It comes off after a while. But no,
I remember. Oh, go ahead.
no, that was actually a real problem. There's some really, really rare pieces. Some of the pieces of, and I kid you not, some people know this. There was a Japanese like combiner team in the Victory line, which is like 3 series into the Japanese only stuff, called the Breast Force.
The
Yes,
what now?
yeah.
The
It
what?
was a weird. It was a weird series. There was Brain Masters, Breast Force. So they basically had chess pieces that come off and transform into like a little, animals or whatever. Kill Bison was a like a double
Was it
drill
Kill Bison?
Kill Bison.
That's a cool name.
It's a great name.
That's a metal band name.
Yeah, there was let's see, Leo Zach, Kill Bison. There was I'm gonna forget these now. Guy Hawk,
Guy Hawk?
Guy Hawk.
Does he hang out with Lady Hawk from that movie? Lady Hawk? Remember Lady Hawk?
It hangs on the Rugger Hauer.
Yeah, it was a good
Um,
movie, dude. That was a
yeah,
really
it's a
good
great
movie.
movie actually. No, there's a couple other of those. I cannot remember their names right now, but essentially they were just kind of oddball vehicles, but they had these little chess pieces that came off. So there was like Guy Hawk had a hawk on them. Leo Zach had a
Um,
or no, yeah, Leo Zach was had a chess piece that turned into a lion.
okay.
And the name of the combined force was Leo Kaiser, old German
Lion King.
yeah. Well, yeah, but
He's Lion King.
he kind of is. Okay, we'll go with that.
I mean,
But yeah, so
that's funny.
I don't know. We got on this tangent, man.
I don't remember. I don't remember.
Dude, I don't know.
I think we were talking about.
Don't.
I think we were talking about gold action figures. But I was gonna say that I remember, like, speaking of like metallic parts on toys
Mhm.
you had when you were a kid. I had one of very briefly. I had a big fascination with cowboys when I was like probably the 6 or 7 or something like that. I lived in the West, the United States West, with my grandparents for a little
Uh-huh.
while. And so I got to go to like the OK Corral. We got to we lived in Arizona. I got to go to like Boot Hill and all that kind of cool things.
Dude,
But I was
we
really
all
big into
we all
what's
have
that?
fascination with cowboys,
Yeah,
right?
I think every boy
Yeah.
does at some point. I don't know about anymore, but back when, people our age, I think at some point you thought cowboys were cool for at least a week or so. But there was a really now I haven't seen it since it came out, so I haven't seen it since I was probably 7, I guess. But there was a Lone Ranger movie that came out, The Legend of the Lone Ranger,
Huh.
that came out in the early 80s. And there was like a cartoon went along with it, and I was a big fan of the cartoon. But I had like GI Joe scale, like 3 3/4 inch figures for those. But for the movie, I had a 12-inch Lone Ranger that had, his hat came off and his guns came out of the gun belts, and I think the mask was molded on. Anyway, I had the horse with it too. I had Silver also, but so Silver had like a bridle and tack, I guess you call it, all the stuff that
Mhm.
goes along to you can ride a horse. My daughter would know a lot more about that than I do. I don't know a lot about horses. But anyway, in the movie, he had like like it was like spangled. It was like, there was like those little like silver medallions all down
Mhm.
the reins and all this stuff. On the 12-inch toy, it was silver stickers. And
Mhm.
man, it was like 3 days and like in like the south heat, and like those things were just peeling off. Like the glue was
Yeah.
gone. And I was very disappointed in that. But I saw that toy for sale the other day at a collectible toy store.
Oh
Like it
God.
was the horse and the Lone Ranger, and it was about every shred of self-control I had to not buy that.
Okay, yeah, you're right. You're actually a little bit more of a cowboy geek than I was. So, I mean, we had like the metal, revolvers. I had like the little, thing that slid
Caps.
off the side.
Yeah, the cap guns.
Yeah, totally. So,
Yeah, no, I mean, there was a time my grandma got me some cowboy boots, and I wanted to wear them with shorts, because it was, again, I live in the South and it's 100 degrees.
yeah.
But for some reason, when I got those things, I was like, I don't want to wear. I'm not wearing socks with these. That's stupid. And
Ooh.
I walked around my grandparents' farm for an entire day, and the next day, I think I had like no skin left on my feet at all from those things just rubbing my feet raw. So the rest of the time it was me with my Band-Aids, socks, Nikes, but then my cowboy hat and a leather fringe vest on.
Yeah, actually, I
There's a
remember.
picture. There's a picture of that somewhere. I should post it in the Discord. It's
Oh
very,
yeah, for
very
sure.
funny.
I remember when I was younger, I got a pair of like, cheap like cowboy boots or whatever. And I was like, I'm gonna tuck my pants into these cowboy boots because that's, I
That's how
want
you
people to
do it.
see
That's
them.
how you do. That's how you wear cowboy boots,
And then
dude.
like my brother's like, you can't do that. That's how women wear them. Like, oh, what do people see my boots? He's like, just no. Like, a real cowboy doesn't show them off. Like, all right, yeah. So I immediately right there, I was like, well, maybe
Mm-hmm.
these aren't as cool as I thought. At that point, they're just shoes.
Did you ever get to tuck the boots into the
Well, yeah,
the
of
short?
course I did.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, like
you want people to
Dusty
see your
Rhodes did
boots.
that when when he was a
Dude,
wrestler. He
that's
tucked his.
Dusty Rhodes, though. I was like, 7. I'm not Dusty Rhodes at 7. Come on.
Oh
Dusty
man,
Rhodes can do what Dusty Rhodes wants to do.
you never know. Hey
Yeah.
man, do you know the origin, the linguistic origin of the word berserk?
I would assume it has something to do with Norse
It
mythology.
does. It does.
Berserkers.
It's Burr for bear, and Zerker, which means shirt. Berserkers or berserks were these insane warriors that would wear. They would wear nothing but a bear hide. They would wear a bear shirt, and they would
Nice.
go nuts. They were like shock troops or whatever, and they would go crazy in battle, and that's where the term berserk comes from.
I actually saw something recently, before if you continue, I know where you're going with this. Saw something recently where they kind of found a evidence of berserkers going to finding they would take different mushrooms
Yep, absolutely right.
and it would like basically dull their fighter their flight senses,
Yeah,
and it would also give them this kind of like this I don't know, they would slightly trip and see the battlefield a certain way, and it gave them all kinds of like energy and a
right.
different aspect. So yeah, that's kind of cool.
I think that they thought that they were bears at that point. I think they were
Probably so.
which is pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I mean, to be honest, but this week we're talking about Auto Berserk though.
Oh man.
Auto Berserk, the automatic bear shirt is what we're talking about this week. Picking back up with this. This
Yes.
one, this episode, we got a newcomer to the fray of writers here. We've got
Anthony Zaleski.
Anthony Zalewski.
Hmm.
Did you look this guy up?
Yeah, he's one of those guys who did a lot of the 80s, like he was almost like he was an 80s cartoon show writer. He worked on
Yeah.
Masters of the Universe, he worked on Centurions, he worked on all
G.I.
all
Joe.
the staples. Yeah, G.I. Joe. He
So
only did 2 episodes for Transformers though.
yeah, I found that. But what I was trying to find out more about him, which he's kind of an elusive guy. There's not a lot of data about them. However, I did, but it led me down a weird rabbit hole where in 2017 there was a guy with that name. Well, that's Antony, Antoni.
In Chicago.
There was a guy murdered named Anthony Zalewski, and was like, and it was like an unsolved crime, and it was one of those news stories that, like, just due to the way that stories are picked up on, like the AP and all this kind of stuff these days, is that like a local website will publish it, and then all of a sudden it's on every other news station's like website, and so I can go to my local news and there's a page for it on my local news, or like just 2 cities over, it's like there's coverage of it. Who cares down here that why, if this guy was murdered in Chicago, it's a random unsolved murder, and some guy went to trial for it. But anyway, but it doesn't matter because it's not him.
I know.
Like,
I did like the same thing.
Him. And so I was like, oh my god, this dude was murdered, and I was just digging trying to find information, and it was like, oh, this isn't even the same guy. Like, this can't be the, and because I found that guy, the guy that got murdered, that guy was just some like weirdo, like real estate tycoon or something like that.
Yeah, I was gonna say he worked with the real estate.
He was like he was a mogul, I guess, or like a trying to be. He was like Tom Haverford level moguls, but he was like wanting to be a mogul. But
yeah,
it
was one of those weird things. Like, this is gonna be the coolest story ever. Now it really,
Yeah, because I was like, there's an unsolved murder for a TV writer for this time. I mean, this is great. We we got to do a spinoff. We got to do like a spinoff true crime podcast about this. It would be like a version of Serial, but Mindhunter. But no, I'm just complete dead end, and I'm like, and I still can't find anything about our Tony Zalewski. I don't know what he's done.
He just wrote shows and lived his life, man. He didn't do a whole lot.
His life, though, that's the thing. I need to know. It's like, I feel bad because like these other podcasts that I listen to are like, they dig up some bizarro like hardcore band from like 1994 that put out one 7-inch record, and it's like, okay, well, the bass player now, he's a jujitsu guy, and he's a dad, and he posts on Instagram, and I'm like, well, I can't even find a guy that this is a published writer. I can't find anything about this.
Anthony Zalewski did not do any of that.
No,
I don't know if he's still alive.
Yeah, he's not into hardcore.
Nope.
Nope, he doesn't. He doesn't make artisanal coffee.
He doesn't. He doesn't post on TikTok. Nothing.
No, he doesn't.
Nothing. He just kind of fell off, and good for him, man. I mean, really, this show's 40 years old. He could very well be in a plot somewhere. We don't know. So
maybe he was murdered, and then just no one covered it.
Anything's possible. I really. Yeah, I was kind of disappointed. I go through a few different places to look for the information on the writers, but there's just nothing there. IMDb, I go to TF Wiki, I do a bunch of other, kind of searches. Nothing.
I'll tell you what else is possible. It's possible this episode might be good. It's also possible that it won't.
This is seriously one of my favorite season 2 episodes because it's so. I don't know.
All right, we're gonna have to gonna have to get into it, man. So we start off at a military base, which is cool. At least it's not a power plant. Which is awesome. So they have a thing that the subtitles called it a mega fader.
Yes,
but that's not what it's called though. It's called, what's it called? The
Negavator.
Negavator. Yeah, they call it the mega fader, like it was a DJ thing.
Honestly, kind of did the same sort of thing you would expect a mega fader to do. It just faded things out of existence.
Well, see, okay, there used to be a hip hop DJ. I think he's still around. His name was Darth Fader. Like Darth Fader, like the Fader. That's the best pun name in all of hip hop of all time. That's it. No one can come close to that. That's a great name. It made me think of that, and so that made me happy for a second.
For just a second, okay. So
here's my question though.
Yeah.
They do a countdown, and they have the mega fader, which is what I'm going to call it because all my notes say mega fader.
It's easier to say than negavator.
Negavator. That sounds like an elevator that just takes you down.
Yeah, it only takes you negative floors.
Only go down. Yeah, the negavator.
Anyways,
especially where you don't want to go.
Yeah.
So they shoot this at like a communication tower or something. Is that?
Yeah, it was just some random thing. Maybe there's an old like communication tower that's just is defunct or something. They just shoot it.
What happened to it?
It mega fades.
I don't even know what it did. I thought it shrunk it or something. I was really confused as to what actually happened here.
It did, man. It did 80s sci-fi science. It shot it and it glowed, did a little laser Floyd, and went away.
It went away. I don't know what happened to it.
It mega faded or negated.
Yeah, this was yeah, it was very confusing. They didn't really give any sort of background on what this thing was or what it did or why they were building it or anything like that.
Yeah. And then,
It just,
they get on the Autobots, get on there like, what do you think, General? And I guess this is something the Autobots worked with them on, and they made this really cool thing. Yeah,
I guess. And then the general doesn't even put like a helmet or anything on. He hops into like a dragonfly from G.I. Joe.
Yeah, and
he tries to fly away, but then he forgot his tape player. My man,
yeah.
my man.
Dude,
there he is.
He is back in it, and he shows up,
dude. Yes, this was like an episode 1, 2, 3 era Soundwave performance we were getting here. This was fantastic. I love it. Like, I'm like, he's back. He's doing spy stuff. He's sneaking up, and like, yeah.
Before all this stuff goes on, though, there's a kind of red alert sitting there at the at a panel. And he just his little antenna ears flicker. He's like, I say he says like Decepticons attack.
What happened?
He had a little
short circuited.
He was having a moment.
I guess. But yeah. So we got the geek red alert again. It is red alert. It's not first aid, right? Because I got it real wrong. I got it real wrong last time. Did I call him first aid?
We looked at it for a bit. It's red alert. It is red alert. Yeah. First aid is actually a.
Did I call him first aid? Was that the deal? I called him.
One of us did.
You called him first aid, and then I just glomped on and called him first aid. And of course, my email inbox was full because. God forbid that I'm wrong about something.
Of course not. But we sense a codependent relationship right off the bat, man. Oh. And you're like in Inferno, I'll go help him. No, you can't go anywhere.
Dude, these guys are they're such geeks. Somebody gets upset because the heat's going to cook their databanks. I think this is after the Decepticons actually just come in and attack. And they just come in, they just show up because this is that weird part with the general. He like hops into the helicopter and then out of the helicopter and then back in the helicopter, and like I don't even know why it's there. I don't even know what point that even.
It's a vehicle to get Soundwave into the battlefield, and Soundwave jumps out, and he is Johnny on the spot. He's like the Negavator's there or Negavator. He just starts spitting out tapes.
I know. He's like Darth Vader. Yeah, he's got the cut. He's got the beats. So this guy's great.
So yeah, the Negafator, it fires at him. He jumps out. The dude has the best reflexes. He just like goes, he's gone. He never has these reflexes ever again in the show.
No, and then when the Megafator when it hits rocks, they do that weird like 80s cartoon effect where they just like they turn every color. And they pull, it just goes away. Like we saw that in like Super Friends did that a lot.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, it's like laser beams, and they go whoop, 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 they're gone.
Yeah, and then it's just
obviously the laws of physics don't actually apply in the cartoon world.
I remember, and this is related to this, so bear with me. I remember when I was probably like 20, I think. I think like the Star Wars movies got re-released on VHS, like remastered, not the special editions, but the remastered ones where they fixed they fixed some stuff in it or whatever. But I hadn't sat down and watched those, like intently watched those movies in a long time. When those came out on VHS. So my friends and I watched them, and something that we noticed that we had never seen before was this is when I first got educated as to what a dissolve is. You know what a dissolve is in filmmaking. So typically it's just something fades out and then fades back in. Star Wars, or a dissolve or a wipe, also the other term for it. Star Wars has bizarre wipes and dissolves. It does these ones where they're like shutters or opening or like a spin or something.
A New Hope has it's like he learned how to do like those. It wasn't really a dissolve. It was, yeah, it was like
It was a wipe. A wipe
a
is what
wipe.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
wipes.
a wipe.
Dude,
Yeah.
Lucas loved wipes in A New Hope.
I know, and it was just like you're watching it, and once you notice it, you're like, this dude is just going nuts with wipes.
Yeah.
It was like it was just first invented or something, and he's all like, dude, I'm gonna use
I mean, honestly, when I make
every.
the YouTube videos, I use a lot of like dissolves and things. It doesn't do so drastic. It just kind of goes into the next thing really quickly. So I've
That's a
used
dissolve, and that's a dissolve, yeah.
yeah,
But so okay, anyway, so there is a wipe in this scene right here where it's almost like a triangle comes out of the bottom of the screen and it unfolds into like origami into the next scene.
yeah.
And I noticed that and I was like, what is, like, I backed it up and watched it again and I was like, what a bizarre fade or what or a wipe or whatever. But then they used it again later on.
Yeah, there maybe Anthony or maybe the animators really had a thing for triangles because well, later on Optimus has a little Triforce alarm on his arm. But
Yeah, he sure did.
maybe.
I don't know,
But
man.
yeah, man, getting back to this, like Rumble, man, he is not living up to his dad's expectations here. He's trying, and dude, frenzy body checks Optimus Prime. He hits him hard, knocks him over. I was like, oh,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah, this was so good. I love this. Yeah, so there's a big brawl going on. Who is this green and yellow dude?
oh, Hoist? No, yeah, no, it's not Hoist.
Yeah,
That is Hoist.
Hoist.
Hoist. I remember you hated him last time.
Yeah, I couldn't. Yeah, I don't know who he was then either. This guy's awful.
Wait till we get to Hoist Goes Hollywood. That's such a bad episode.
Oh God, now
Yeah, the director calls him.
I'm gonna call in sick that day. I think that's the week I'm getting my wisdom teeth out again. So this nerd grapple shows up again. This guy is the worst. This episode is just things happening, and then like this guy comes along and he just ruins it, dude. This guy just ruins everything. Gotta hate this guy.
And they have the worst. I don't know. It's like they are almost prototypical like designers and architects. Oh no, he's going to be mad at what they've done to the place. And you know, everyone's just like, well, we're just going to shoot him up. And they have the I don't know, the grapple, hoist, red alert, and like you know, they all have this certain way they talk.
All the safety bots, they're the worst. They're the biggest bunch of nerds. And could one of these guys been cool at least? Can Trax give one of them a wedgie and take him to the yacht club or something?
I mean, even Inferno is like he wants to be Chris Christopherson bot so bad.
He's fine. Inferno's fine, but like he's like if it's just him, it's like okay, like whatever. But then it's you get like a whole gaggle of these guys. It's like
yeah, they're worth
it's like the bad table and lunch in school and like because like you know that like you know Sunstreaker like hates these dudes like Sideswipe can't stand these guys.
Those brothers are out somewhere else. Like I'm not going to this mission with these guys.
They're like I'm not even going to this episode. Like
yeah, exactly. Like we're off patrolling.
They're doing something else. Where's Hound? Hound's not going to put up with these guys either.
Oh,
Hound's like a
Hound's
a utility vehicle, and he's like, I'm not hanging out with these dorks.
Of course, Wheeljack is kind of a dork himself. Of course, he's there, and of course, like you know, Ironhide's always going to be there with Prime. Oh man, and Ironhide has such a great scene a little later. But so Rumble jumps into the Mega Fader, and he's starting to shoot it, and he looks over Frenzy's on top of Optimus, beating the hell out of Optimus. He turns around and goes, "Wait!" And I guess they didn't really show it all that much, but Inferno shot coolant on the thing and it shorted out.
Yeah, I think
he shorts out and like Rumble gets out of there. He's like, "Oh, I showed him." What'd you do?
Did he? Did he show him? What did he show him?
I don't know. I think it was supposed to imply that he did, but I don't know.
I don't know, man. Yeah, because this whole episode is like weird with it. They start with a MacGuffin, and like they haven't bothered to explain anything at this point. And matter of fact, one guy even says like at one point, like earlier on, somebody went basically, yeah, I mean, we have the Mega Fader, but we've had super weapons before, and Decepticons just still win anyway. And like this guy's just this is so meta. This guy's completely no selling the episode. He's like, all right, well, I'm like. doesn't mean anything. Like,
Pretty much.
like that one line is the most profound thing in this entire season.
Yeah. It's oh well, yeah, we have a big MacGuffin cannon thing. Well, it's just gonna go fall into the septic hands. It's gonna be a problem, and we're not gonna use it anymore. That's exactly what well, honestly, most 80s cartoons did that. So can't they even did it into the
Yeah, but
90s.
the characters don't say that though. It's not like
Yeah.
it's not like you have like a stormtrooper going around Star Wars going, yeah, we built another Death Star, but like the last time we had a Death Star, it didn't do anything. So this one's not gonna do anything either.
You gotta imagine like someone like was punching up the script and like I'm just gonna put this in there.
Like, yeah, I'm just really gonna mess with these kids. Like
And
Major
they
Bloods.
animated it.
I'm like, yeah, like I
Voiced
know
it.
that I know Destro's buying us some more weapons, but we're not gonna be G.I. Joe
And
again.
poor Anthony Zalewski's like watching this episode, like, what is that? And then he got killed in Chicago, and it's a cold
He
case
killed
now.
Chicago,
It's all done.
yep, he's done. He's done. So,
So, yeah, man, they all, Soundwave gets all his little guys together, and they all fly off. Man, this is one of those episodes where it has really great animation and kind of poor animation. This is one of the best animated sequences. Rumble fires a rocket off the back of his gun, and it does this whole tunnel scene.
yeah,
It is great animation. It's full on anime, high end animation, and it like blows up, and Rumble gets jostled again.
yeah.
So
Yeah, that was very cool. There was a really cool scene right here where Optimus Prime goes to give the transform and roll out command. That command that I constantly make fun of because that's all he ever does during a crisis. But when he does it, he does like a really cool point thing, and they cut to a really cool angle. It was almost like the cover of those Phoenix Wright video games. You ever seen those? You ever play those games
yeah,
where you object, and you point at this, like if you're on YouTube, you can see a really cool angle of me pointing at the screen.
I love that art on those games though. Seriously, those are fantastic.
But see, the thing is that when he does this, when he tells everybody to transform, that green geek Hoist, like he doesn't even transform. He just runs and jumps into the mega fader.
Yeah,
Like what? You don't have to follow orders. Like
no,
what? Why
no.
are you exempt from this? It wasn't
He's
like
an artist.
he didn't say Autobots transform, except for you, Hoist. You go over there and jump in that thing.
Yeah,
Autobots, like you're an Autobot, right? Like if your boss went, employees come into the office and you were like,
not me though.
not me. I'm gonna go do this other thing over here.
Yeah, exactly.
Who do you think you are? Yeah.
And they start driving down this. Who drives down a canyon like this? The Autobots always drive down in the middle of the bottom of a canyon. Why do they always do this? I mean, take the high ground. Learn from basic sword fighting. Always take the high ground. But no, they're going to drive through this little canyon. I guess they think it's going to give them cover because the Decepticons can't fly or something. Oh wait, they can. So yeah, they're going to drive through this little canyon with falling rocks all over the place, unstable side apparently because Rubble's like kind of standing over there looking over the edge, and he kicks rocks down. They're like, "Rubble, stop! You're gonna alert him." And then like it happens again, and Optimus is like, "Red alert! Do you detect anything?" And he's like, "No, everything's fine. What do you ask?"
Yeah, and so everybody just calling him Red. Everybody just calls him Red at this point, though. From now on, he's just called him Red, and I hate this because it's like it just reminds me of like every show where somebody has red hair and they get called Red, and come on, man. Anything else you could call this dude?
He's the ginger.
That's the best you can do. It's just Red. So.
But he just the way it's like, no. Why do you ask? There's nothing wrong. They're all going to tell on me. What am I going to do?
Dude, I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with them because they haven't explained anything.
Nothing.
No idea what's going on in this.
And guess what? They don't. So
yeah, spoiler.
Spoiler. So yeah, there's this. We're back to like the toxic relationship. Where Inferno is going around with in Red Alert, and Red Alert's being paranoid and weird and kind of I don't know manic. Let's say he's being manic. And then, of course, the Decepticons are up there and they attack. Who saw this coming? They're driving the mega fader through a canyon. Who saw that coming? Nobody.
Of course.
I mean, Soundwave already tried to infiltrate and take it once, so we're gonna just take the slowest path through open space here. And the fight's going on and things are going badly, and Smoke screen has the most effective weapon this entire episode.
Hold on. Let me back up a little bit because
Yeah.
there's a really funny scene before this where they're getting ready to go into battle here. And so Megatron's in, like, I guess he's in their headquarters. I don't know where they are. Like, because their headquarters at this point is still the underwater thing, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but they're somewhere. They have like a base somewhere. I don't. It's in the desert, in near a canyon. I don't know. I guess they have multiple bases. I don't know. But he's like planning something. I think he's hanging out. He's yelling at Soundwave because Soundwave. He's telling Soundwave he's incompetent, despite the fact that Soundwave is the only person in this entire episode that's accomplished anything.
Yeah.
Like he deserves a raise at this point. But while he's doing this, like the door behind Megatron opens, and so like Starscream and two other Seekers like they're walking in, but the way they animated them, they're all walking in unison, and so I think they animated them all the same way, so they're all kind of like sashaying. They're like this arm is like swinging over the front, right? But they're all doing like in unison, like they're all in like perfect time with each other, and it's almost like, you remember like those music videos from like the late 80s, the early 90s, of those like all women R&B groups where they would do that bad woman walk, towards the camera, like that. Like In Vogue would do that a lot, or like Expose would do that a whole lot.
I can see
it
that.
Reminded me, they were real sassy, and it reminded me a lot of that, and that was very cool because deep down I'm a huge fan of Expose. I think Expose was a real good band from back then. So they had some bangers, dude, and In Vogue too, also bangers.
In Vogue, yeah, I was real familiar with them, but yeah,
Expose. What about the Mary Jane Girls? Remember the Mary Jane Girls?
Not at all.
Oh, God, you're missing out, bro. I'm gonna have to send you a playlist on.
Here we go. This is gonna be a long night. So yeah, this whole fight is breaking out, and Smokescreen, once again, he has the best weapon. Where this weapon is any other time, I don't know. He just puts out this, I guess, oily smokescreen out, and they all fly. All the stuff fly into the smoke. Megatron crashes onto the Mega Fader, which apparently that wasn't a really good smokescreen because he found it. And
there it is.
The jets all fly through it, and the smoke sticks to them. And they're like, "Well, use your." Starscream's like, "Switch to radar," and Smokescreen's like, "Okay," and it shoots them all like scramble stuff. It was great lines. I was like, "What is it? Hey, my circuit's electric blew just out. To mine, I'm flying blind. Away, move before collide." They don't turn him into Yoda,
dude. I had to back this up, like 5 times because I thought I was having a stroke. Like I was or because a lot of times like. I was legitimately really confused as what was going on, because a lot of times like I work on 2 monitors when I'm taking my notes for this, right? So I have like YouTube open on one monitor, and I have my note thing on the other monitor. What happens a lot of times is like I'll go to pause YouTube, and then I'll go to go back to my my note program and type or whatever, and this happens, like, I swear to God, this happens like 17 times every week when we do this show, is that I will not click on the text thing, and then YouTube is still the active window, right? And like YouTube has like 452 different keyboard commands. Like, I don't know if you knew this or not, but like if you start typing in a YouTube window, it'll go full screen, it'll bring up options, it'll change the language, it'll stop it, it'll start it, it'll go to the next episode. There is a keyboard shortcut for like everything, and I hate it. I cannot stand it, and it happens to me constantly. Like I have to restart episodes like at least 2 or 3 times every time we do this show. Anyway, I had to stop, and I thought I put it in another language because I was like, my brain just isn't working because like of what's going on here. I was legitimately like more confused by this than I have been about anything in this entire show so far. And I had to back it up. I was like, and not in a good way, not in a barbarian riding a woolly mammoth way. Like that was a delight.
Yeah,
but yeah, in a like I'm questioning my, like, did I take too many antibiotics today? It
just happens, and you're like, wait, I did the same thing. I had to back it up and like type out, like back it up again, like, and I had to kind of, I picture the words, like, what is he trying to say? I don't know. It was like a like, where's Carmen Sandiego kind of word puzzle. I'm trying to move it around.
Yeah, dude, it was so bizarre.
Yeah,
and I was like, it was matching up with what's on the subtitles are matching what they're saying, and but I'm like, I don't think this is right. I think this is.
You smell toast.
So the takeaway is that Smokescreen has like basically like a hallucinogen. Like
I think it just scrambles them or something.
it's like this is weird.
Yeah.
This is
So
and where's this been? Where's this been? Like in the last like 10 episodes. Like use it every time.
I know, and weapons are in this are great because they don't always do what they do in every episode. So we'll get into that later. And Ramjet is an idiot. He's like, if I go, I'm taking an Autobot with me. He crashes right into the Mega Fader, he hits him so hard, Megatron flies out. He's like, I've got idiots on my team.
That was very cool.
It was great. I mean, it was like he rolled a nat 1, hit the cockpit, knocked Megatron out. It was the best. You know, if you're the DM, you're like, oh yes, chaos.
Dude, yeah, that was nuts. Somebody, I think it was Ironhide, goes, I gotta take that vacation. Like I don't know what I don't remember the context. I just thought it was funny.
Said it, and the whole fight ends in like Red Alert's going, a little nuttier, and he takes off. He's done. He's like, I'm out of here, man. Goes towards, I don't know, some city in the middle of the desert. I don't know where it's supposed to be. Maybe they're at Tucson. I don't know. And they're just driving, and so the Autobots are like, we got to get him. We got to save him. So they're looking for a Red Alert, and they're at this intersection. They see another Fire Chief Lamborghini drive past them. So they all turn. They made like, and Optimus Prime being an 18-wheeler does the best U-turn. I've never seen an 18-wheeler do a U-turn like this. They follow him. And they follow him down the alley, like knocks boxes out of the way. And they're like, oh, he's trying to run from us. The Lamborghini Fire Chief drives to a fire, and the Fire Chief gets out, runs to the fire. And Ironhide picks it up, and he's like, hey, Red, you okay there, Red? He starts talking to him like he's like some drunk guy hitting on his ex-girlfriend. Oh, wow, I'm sorry about it, because the Fire Chief's like, put down my car.
Yeah.
What Fire Chief has a Lamborghini Fire Chief?
That guy, he's the guy that said, I got to take that vacation.
Oh yeah, that's one.
Because it was, I guess he was, I guess like there hasn't been like constant news coverage of the Transformers doing things. But yeah, that was
there's just great like Ironhide's, oh, I'm sorry, I thought it was a friend of mine. Like the drunk guy in the bar, I thought I knew you. I'm sorry. Dude, go away, leave her alone.
So they decide, the Autobots decide to take the Negavator back to the base that it was in. But there's so they drive it back, and there's a giant hole blown out of the wall where the battle was initially, right? So I can see now that the Autobots, they're very consistent with their security. They're just like, oh yeah, we don't. No doors on the Ark. No doors on the.
Yeah, why doors?
Well, they did get a door on the Ark in the last episode, didn't they?
They did. They finally put a garage door on there. Yeah.
I'm willing to bet a mad ball or something that in the next few episodes it'll be gone. That there won't be a door here.
Yeah. Consistency isn't something they're well known for, but the door opens, and like Red Alert goes in there and escapes from before that happens. Before the Autobots are looking for him, he goes in there. He's like, "Hey, come in here, friend." And he goes in there. He transforms. He's like, "You." It's Starscream.
Starscream.
This is the Starscream I love. He's like, I'm gonna do what I can to get this thing from this guy. And you see over the time that Starscream's working with Red Alert. Starscream's like, this guy's crazy. What? All right, whatever. Yeah, that's when the Triforce alarm goes off on Optimus Prime's arm. It is the Triforce. It's like
it's a perfect Triforce on his wrist.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's this whole thing with they go and Starscream and Red Alert go, and they're gonna get the Mega Fader. Sorry,
Mega Fader.
Yeah. So they go to the base with the blown out, hole in the wall, and he's trying to get into it. And there's this like combination. He's trying to hit the combination to get in there. It's like they changed the combination. They never trusted me. And Starscream does like everyone else thing. Like, I don't blame him.
No, you're a total flake, man. You're a total weirdo, and I wouldn't trust you either.
Well, actually, before this, there was this Lovecraftian horror of a tunnel drone.
The tunnel drone, who puts this? Who thinks this is a good idea?
apparently, the Red Alert. Well, I got a feeling Red Alert made it or something, or someone he knows someone made it. I was like, not even I can stop the tunnel drone. Well, of course you can't. You're an idiot. You're nuts. So yeah, they get Pat. They like Starscream like shoots the cage, and he's like, "You're gonna set the alarms off." He's like, "I don't care, man. It's just there's a Lovecraftian horror about to kill us."
It was such a weird, like, why would you put this in the show? Like, who, like, oh, come on,
Like
Tony.
you
Zalewski?
saw the stuff of the battle bots we had in that one episode. I mean, there's all kinds of weird robots in these shows.
Yeah, that's a good point. So they get in finally, and there's a really bizarrely animated scene where like uh, Red Alert goes to get into the Negavator,
Yeah,
and like the hatch opens because it's got like a big dome hatch. It looks like a very generic like 1976 sci-fi tank. Which I like. That's where I live, and I like that. So
yeah.
whatever. I mean, it looks like like something from the cover of like a really cheap paperback you'd find in a used bookstore.
It totally
Like
does. It looks like a big like bulbous syringe on top of a tank treads.
that's not far off the mark. It looks like if you saw the like a bad version of like a copy of like The Forever War by Joe Haldeman or something like that. That's what the tanks on the cover would look like, or Hammers Slammers or something like that, which I think I've joked about before.
This is
on the
right at home
show.
being a Cobra super weapon or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So but no, he goes to get in it, but when he does, it's like they speed the tape up for a second. Like, go back and watch this again. It's real weird because like it's normal speed and then it speeds up for like about like a second, and he just kind of like and hops in, and then it goes back to normal speed. Real weird, man. Again, I had to back it up a couple times, make sure I wasn't like smelling burnt toast, because I was like, man, like with everything else that's going on lately, I don't know, man. Maybe
Yeah, you've had enough for right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then like, honestly, the whole thing kind of proceeds where they try to drive it out of there, and the Autobots all show up, like, and they're like, Optimus Prime's like, "Come on, Red, you're not like this, come on out." Because it's just, get out of the Mega Fader. Sorry, I gotta not call the real name. And Red Alert's like, no, you wanted disassemble me. You would take it from me. And like Starscream is like, man, I'm having kind of second thoughts about what's going on here. And you can see it. And like Megatron and all the Seekers show up on the other side of this bridge, like that they just shot to keep the Autobots from coming across, because we all know Autobots can't fly. So Megatron and all them show up, and there's a whole fight between like Starscream and Red Alert. And we get to where the like Starscream once again uses his null ray for whatever's convenient at the time, shoots Red Alert, and it's one of the things where it like clears Red Alert. Apparently his logic circuits were malfunctioning or something. He's like, "Oh, I think my logic circuits are working again."
Yeah,
it's really convenient stuff. It's typical 80s sci-fi kind of stuff. Shoots it with his null ray, and apparently that fixes everything.
That fixed it.
Yeah. So Megatron is like, it's like Megatron's like, "Starscream, I noticed you have a little thing going on with your Autobot friend here. Let's give me the Negavator." And so Red Alert's like, "I'll do it." He runs in there and sits there. He's like, beep, 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 beep. Like, what's he doing in there? It sets the thing to self-destruct, because of course he does.
Yeah. I don't know why.
I guess better than let it go into Decepticon hands. Blow it.
Why couldn't they just keep it? Why can't they take it back to the Ark? They have a garage door now. They can just keep it there.
They keep the Dinobots in the closet. I mean, they could probably keep that in another closet.
Yeah. I don't exactly.
The Dinobots are just hanging out there in the dark, and they like call them like, "Oh, I guess we'll go help them now." Yeah. So, yeah, he just goes in there and he puts it to self-destruct, and everyone's like, "Oh God!" They all fly. Megatron starts doing his monologue and stuff, and Starscream does the best line. He's like, "Save the oration." He leaves. The best meta line.
So meta.
He's like, "Stop monologuing. We got to go." Save the oration. They fly off, they escape, and of course they're all trying to get out of there, and Red Alert is stuck in there still. All the Autobots are leaving, and Inferno because it's such a toxic relationship. Inferno's like, I'll go get him. And Thrive's in there and he's like, no, Inferno, save yourself. So he of course rescues him, comes out of there, and the whole thing goes up. Optimus Prime is like, oh, I should have gone there myself. And they all come out. Of course, everyone's happy and everything's okay again. Yeah, I mean, this is just a weird episode, but I love it too because it's such a weird one, man. It is a very typical sci-fi, silly, MacGuffin kind of episode, but you never see like some. Oh, actually, I take that back. They did this once in GI Joe with the alternate reality miniseries they had.
I love that.
Worlds Without
It's
End.
like a two-parter where they the
Yeah,
one where the Cobra were the good guys.
yeah. Well, they had won like Worlds Without End. I think it was called.
No, the Cobra were the good guys in that one. No, wait. Oh
I
no, no,
think
oh, you're right.
they
Cobra
killed GI
won,
Joe.
but Baroness
Yeah, she was
was
a double agent with
yeah, she's
GI
double
Joe.
agent.
Yeah,
That's right.
and there was like I think it wasn't Dusty. It was Steeler.
Yeah, I was
Steeler
say
had
yeah.
gotten
I'm
bit
pretty
by
sure
an
it's
insect. He
Steeler.
starts going crazy like this. So I always love these kinds of things where the character just like loses all sense of reality and sanity. But this kind of gets tied up at the end. I don't know. I enjoyed it. It was good stuff.
The best way that I can describe this episode is a bunch of things happen and there's no why.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
pretty accurate. Yeah.
yeah, like they literally don't explain anything in this. Like at least in some of the other ones that they kind of like they make an effort to be like, hey, we made this new thing and
It does.
this is why the Decepticons want it. This was just like the distilled essence of like it was like it was this is like almost like if you told me that like AI wrote this,
Yeah.
I would believe it because it's just like okay, there's a new thing. What's the
This
thing?
is
Oh, I don't
this
know.
is
It's just a thing, and it does something. What does it do? It just does stuff. And the Decepticons want it. Why? They just want it,
Negatives.
and then it blows up at the end, and then like all like and one of the guys goes crazy. Why does he go crazy? I don't know. Like there's like they don't explain nothing. Like it gets explained in this. Um, there's cool stuff in this. I mean, there's there's a lot of cool like action figure stuff going on. There's a lot of like cool battles and stuff. Um, Soundwave did a lot of really cool stuff, and I like you guys know I'm a big fan of Soundwave doing stuff, and I'm always anytime he does cool stuff, especially if he does sneaky things, I'm a big fan of it. When he takes charge and gets things done, which he's prone to do when he actually gets to he's off the leash. I got to think about Darth Vader, and that was pretty cool. Uh, Kid Brain. Oh God, Kid Brain here. I mean, I don't know. It was fine. I'd probably go like 3.5 spy hunter smoke screens out of 5. Smoke screens are a big motif here. Adult brain here. I am just, dude. Because I had to question my own sanity in this episode multiple times. I I had no idea what was going on. I kept just having to go back and be like, is there a plot to this? Adult brain completely checked out on this one. I just could not I don't know what's going on. Like give me something to go on. Adult brain to me is just gonna have to go like it's not the worst, so I'm gonna go 2 in vogue cassette singles out of 5. Maybe never gonna get it and oh god I don't remember the other one, the one that was real hard rock. That would be the other one there. So but go back and listen to some expose this week while you're doing your routes though, because it's still real good.
Then there was this great scene near the beginning of the episode where Riddler starts having problems, and they start saying stuff, and Optimus Prime goes, "Hey, Red, why don't you get yourself checked out with Ratchet?" And he's like, "No, you wanted to disassemble me, dude." I love that stuff. He cracks me up so much. It is so Star Trek the original series kind of acting. It's great. Love it.
There was a lot of those geeks in it, and it really brought it down for me. But
Oh yeah, well yeah, there's that. But I always love this toxic relationship between Inferno and Red Alert. Every time it happens, it makes me smile. It makes me laugh. It's just like one of those things that holds over, and I always love watching it. It is Red Alert is manic, and like Inferno's like they're like, oh, you're gonna be okay. You're just having an episode, and he wants so bad to be Trailbreaker. He's Chris Christopherson esque.
yep.
Yeah, or maybe more he's Kenny Rogers. I don't know. Anyways, yeah, I mean, this is one of those ones, yeah, has no plot. It is big dumb gun,
Yeah.
and there's like everyone's fighting over it. But the whole interplay between Red Alert and Starscream gets it for me every time. Starscream has these great one-liners. He just like off throws things off like, yeah, I don't blame him. He basically like, you're crazier than I am. I love that stuff. That's what makes it for me. All the rest of the episode, I don't care. I just want to see Red Alert and Starscream having a I'm the prettiest crazy girl conversation. I'd love to have that like argument.
There was a lot of crazy. There was a lot of crazy.
Yeah, it was fantastic. But for that, I mean, this is one of those ones a lot of people don't like. I love this one. It always gets it for me, man. This is well, I'd say it's 3.5 Fire Chief Lamborghinis out of 5 for me. It gets it for me.
God.
And this is I always also love when they Ironhide picks up the other Fire Chief's Lamborghini. Come on, Red.
that was very
like the guy at last call. Oh, I thought you're a friend of mine. Girl's like, no, go home. You're drunk.
That was very funny.
That's in front. That's the whole scene for me. It makes no sense as no plot. It's just pure unadulterated, lols for me. It all across the board. So yeah, that's why I think this one's so good. So yeah, I don't even know what's coming up next, but this is we're gonna hit a string of really, really rough episodes. Unfortunately, let me see. We are. Let me see if I find my handy dandy little list here. After this, oh, here we go. We are going to come across. Is it Auto Berserk? City of Steel.
Oh, it sounds cool.
It does sound cool. It is actually one of
I
think the first ACOM full-on ACOM episode.
No,
it is bizarre, man. I'm gonna say one thing. Optimus Prime alligator. I'm just gonna leave it there. So,
why are you guys trash talking this? It sounds amazing. This is exactly what I want out of the show.
It is amazing for just weird 80s sci-fi cartoons. It is so bizarre, and I love it for that reason.
Okay,
so
all right, fair enough.
Yeah, it's I mean, there's a string of Desertion of the Dinobots after that, and then Blaster Blues. Oh, we're gonna have some good ones coming up. Oh, sorry, a Decepticon Raider and King Arthur's Court, just to give you some ideas.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
I've
heard you guys talking about that one. So yeah, sounds good. Sounds amazing. I cannot wait.
We're full on into the middle of season 2, awesome. And it's gonna be fun. Anyways, everyone, thanks for checking us out, listening again. I appreciate everything. And I'll put a little thing at the beginning of the videos and the audio now to tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell your parents, tell your kids all about it. I listen to stuff all day long when I'm working, so it's kind of what gets me through it. And I actually enjoy listening to our episodes. I go back, listen to it, and I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'm proud of what we do. So
same.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Anyways, y'all, we will see you next week. Thanks so much for being here. Appreciate you. You want to take us out with anything, man?
I forgot. It's been like 2 weeks. I forgot about a quote. All I'm gonna say is go. Like if you don't already play Warhammer 40,000 10th edition, go play Warhammer because it's very good.
By the way, I'm on the second book of the Horus Heresy, False Gods.
Oh, False God. Yeah, False Gods is.
I love the description of the Titans, how they work.
Yeah, Titans are very cool.
They're so cool.
Titans are very cool.
On that note, everyone take it easy. Thanks so much for being here. See you next week.
Roll out.
More Than Mises Guys is performed by Evan Johns and Ed Strickland. Research is performed by Evan Johns, Ed Strickland, and with special research done by Boo of the AxelonUnderground.net. All used images in the videos are property of Sunbow, Hasbro, Paramount, or Marvel. And as always, thank you so much for tuning in every week with us. We appreciate it.